Can't stay away from you. Hi, hello. Welcome to the Hierophant. My name is Patrick. Today I'm going to be doing that Oracle cards thing I do sometimes because I want to return to a simpler time, you know? So I'm going to be doing. Of course, the camera angle is different today because it's different every day. Now, I already saw what this card is because it came out face up. So I'm going to pull it. Pulitzer Prize. I I have a lot of things. I have a lot of feelings about a lot of things because I'm an observer. I'm just naturally observant. I do want to pull one more though that I haven't seen. Oh well, there we go. Forgiveness. Aww. Okay, and here's another one. What's this one? Inspirational creation, number 24. Alchemy, the elements, and innovation. Forgiveness is a 16, so we got a 6 and a 7. Forgiveness is redemption, rebirth, and regeneration. And then this card is emotional freedom, and it's a 12. Vulnerability, flowing, and rebalancing. So this is some interesting energy, right? Very interesting. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving this another shuffle. I'm going to get one card. I got the book right here. I'll read the entry. I'll pick a deck based off of whatever I'm feeling off of the card, and then we'll break it down, you know? But it's just, I don't know. There are so many things I feel like I've been wondering, because we've been having these new moons that are really, really, really early in the season, in the zodiac season. And I was like, what happens if like we have a new moon when the moon is void of course, and then we have the solar eclipse at 0 degrees Cancer. So I'm like pretty sure that moon was void of course. And so we have this new moon that's void of course. And when the moon is void of course, it's basically that like it's not really backed by any zodiac sign because it's kind of sort of in between constellations or something like that. You know, I'm not an astrologer, but that's as much as I know about it. So what does it mean for the moon to not really be backed by anything when the moon is a mirror? So without anything standing in front of the mirror or behind the mirror, there's nothing to reflect, right? So is it empty? If you do anything with it, does it hold any weight? I don't know. I don't know. Because it was void, of course, when the eclipse happened. But that was the new moon, right? So if that's the energy you're sort of working off of, there was nothing there. And people's like, oh, it's Cancer season, so it's time to find whatever makes you happy, whatever makes you comfortable. And I'm like, part of me is like, it's not about you right now. It's about what makes your soul happy and what makes your soul comfortable, not what makes you happy and comfortable. And what makes your soul happy and comfortable is probably not going to make you very comfortable because that's going to be doing whatever you came down here to do. That's going to be overcoming challenges, healing, growing. Growth makes your soul happy, right? That's why people get miserable in comfort zones. But, you know, people who are a little bit more adventurous or who face a little bit more challenge in life may happen upon a little bit more happiness. And so, but it's like we literally just came out of 18 months of Cancer North Node. Like, it's all progressive. So if you're running back to Cancer energy right now, you're going backwards. If you're running, trying to find something happy, trying to find something comfortable, you're going in the wrong direction. Like, hello? But, I mean, it's like, who am I preaching to? Ain't none of the people who necessarily need it watching me, so I'm just like, what can you do? 2 cards. Magical Realms in Isolation. Magical Realms is number 28. Isolation is number 25. Magical Realms is belief, confidence, and co-creative power. Isolation is loneliness, reconnection, and home. Loneliness, reconnection, and home. This is definitely Cancerian energy. And this is kind of sort of Pisces energy right now. So it looks like we're going to have two today. I think I want to use a different deck for both of these. So Magical Realms. I feel like that's Witch's Tarot. No, that's SKT. That's SKT. And then Isolation, I'm going to use the Pride Tarot because, you know, history. So, and I'll try to remember to take a picture today for the thumbnail or not. You know, you can see all this deck space. Bottom of the deck is Awakening, number 3. This is Ancient Knowledge, Memories, and Connection. This is a 3. 28 is a 10. That's a 1. 25 is a 7. So 1, 3, and 7. 5 is missing if we're doing an odd thing. There you go. You see that Awakening? It's beautiful. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It feels like in this energy, it's almost a multi-pronged spiritual attack because it's almost like there's this energy that's interested in keeping itself around as long as it can. So it's, you know, causing something that's happening. Excuse me, I'm drinking, you know, just a little bit of Sprite with some lemonade. It's like, but then for the people who would be more awakened or on a spiritual path, it's kind of sort of like that twin flame thing where it keeps people stuck. So depending on how you did the journey or what your journey may have looked, I don't want to say you. In general, it seems like a lot of what it's been doing was keeping people stuck in karmic situations, keeping people stuck creating karma with people that they honestly didn't need to be creating karma with, out of hopes that, you know, someday some love would actually be in that situation. And it was like, some of these people are like, what's love got to do with it? Right? And so, High Priestess right there. So I've always felt the general narrative of it as, I've always sort of felt it as, it's like a road, right? You got the soulmate road, and there are different stops along the road. And the twin flame thing, at a certain point, really began to feel like, to me, a sort of detour, sideshow attraction, world's biggest yarn ball, biggest cat, you know, cactus that looks like Jose Canseco. What? Why Jose Canseco? Didn't he play baseball or something? Ooh, there's that devil with a better life. And it's like, it was keeping people kind of sort of trapped and stuck on this wheel, more focused on one thing. Now with this healer, more focused on one thing than their actual like self and their healing and their growth, right? Which is what's most important to sort of, you know, get out of that thing anyway, or to get where you want to be. And it almost feels like now that everything's sort of happening, there are some people who would otherwise be like fairly spiritually on the path who are now sort of like Emperor and the Seeker, who are recoiling and who are like going into shells and going into hiding and going into hermit caves and doing this and doing that, all to keep themselves from sort of seeing, I guess, what's happening in the world. But it's like I mean, I've talked about it enough on here, so if you watch me, you probably already know how I feel. Ooh, 10 of Cups with a Seeker. So it's like we're not actually really getting anywhere because you're not doing anything for you to make that change happen for you. You're running from it, right? It requires something to be done. Nothing just happens, right? Nothing just happens. And so I just feel like there's going to be a lot of people. Oh wow, the pride card who are just falling off their paths. But I mean, I guess in some ways you can never really fall off your. Well, yeah, you can. You can fall off your path. Um, your path being what you sort of had roadmap for you when you came down here. But since there's free will, no one really has to stick to what they were gonna do. But it's like, is that the limit of your bravery? Is that the limit of your courage? When the world gets dark, you go into hiding. And it's not about, I don't know, it partially frustrates me, partially not entertains, but it's just like, is this really it? It's like if you're watching a movie and the hero comes to fight a villain and you're like, oh my gosh, like the hero's about to whatever, and then the villain takes down the hero in like 2 seconds. And then you're like, wait, like, wait, the movie isn't supposed to go this way. Like, the hero is supposed to win, and why was he so easily beaten? Like, what is this? There's that on the Knight of Pentacles with this Justice. And it's just like, people are just like really just, hey, Mimi. People are just really retreating. I'm glad I looked over there. 12:46, so only a minute. I'm just like, y'all just really shook right now. And then it's like the more you run from it, the more confused you're going to be, the more lost you're going to be, and the more you're going to feel the pull to be in it. But you can run to whatever energy you want to run to escape it, but you're not going to get what you came here to do if you don't face it. So that's on you. You know, it ain't my job to make sure anybody do what they're supposed to be doing, because at the end of the day, y'all all know. Let me put this magician back in here. Why are you just chilling? And then I was watching somebody reading recently, rustling around one of his readings, and he mentioned Lyra. He was like, somebody Lyran, like from Lyra. I said, Lyran. Now, Lyra was the one star system I never resonated with, ever, personally. I would hear Lyran and just be like, okay, click next. But I have been dreaming of a lot of big cats lately. And at first it was the lion, then it was the tiger, then it was a smaller cat. So now I'm like, Lyran, what? That would be like the one I would just like never expected. Lots of like star seedy messages really coming out right now. Everybody and their mama talking about star seeds right now. And there's also some interesting things going on as far as like, you know what people are kind of sort of looking to nowadays or whatever. It's just lots of interesting things happening. But none of that change just happens by itself, right? It's like, yeah, we activated you for you to, you know, just chill at home and not do anything. It's like, when some people get to the end of this life, they're like, what? Like, I was supposed to, like, I really thought I was supposed to shut myself away from the world and just, you know, go into my la 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 la, I can't hear you, I can't see you happy place. When things like, it's like, no, obviously that was the call to action. Hello, like, did you not see it? Did you not feel it? Like, but you can't tell nobody nothing. I can't tell nobody nothing. We all got our own path. I'm just like, it blows my mind. Because I'm really over here like, what have y'all been doing? Right, we just had 18 months of North Node in Cancer to prepare us for this North Node in Gemini. It's all like, that's how the cycle works. And then we're going to be going into North Node in Taurus. So North Node in Taurus may, like, if you're doing everything you need, if you did everything you needed to do in Cancer, when the North Node was in Cancer, to be prepared to actually stand and face challenges now while the North Node is in Gemini. When the North Node goes into Taurus, that might just be a period of like, you know, you really reaping the benefits because it's fixed. There's nothing really to do when it's fixed, right? Especially if you put yourself in a really, really, really good position after it's mutable, and it's mutable now. So, like, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to set myself up for 18 months. I ain't even really got to worry about it before the North Node shifts into Aries, and then it's really gonna be time to get busy. But you know, everybody different, so whatever. It's whatever. It is what it is. So, number 28, magical realms. Belief, confidence, and co-creative power. So, belief is going to be the star for sure. Excuse me. Confidence is going to be strength or the sun. Confidence is going to be strength. And co-creative power, I want to say the magician, but I'm actually going to go for the lovers because it's co-creative. So, yeah. And how I do this is I start from the bottom of the deck. Knight of Cups. Ooh. With that Emperor and that Twist. And then I shuffle between everyone. So we're looking for, what did I say we was looking for? The star. I'm just like, I'm really over here like, it's like, oh, you know, it's we need some new astrologers because I feel like astrology is going to be changing. It's basically like we're getting older, right? And as you age, your interaction with your parents may change. And we're coming into a new age. And as we come into a new age, the way that the energies worked and played with each other, like it was for a different time, right? And so we shouldn't be seeing the same type of interactions from these energies as we saw in the past if we actually make it through some kind of Stargate portal, whatever. It's right. No, I'm looking for the star. Because it's like, you know, we've already crossed all of those hurdles, so we don't need all of these interactions in the sky to come out and sort of give us the courage and the strength to do that because it's already done. But there will be some leaders, and then there will be people who do whatever they were doing. So here's the star. Oof! Wow! Wow! Between the devil and justice. Girl. Last three cards are the Queen of Swords, right? No, the Queen of Pentacles, the Fool, and the Eight of Pentacles, the Initiate. So that's interesting. But yeah, I'm just like, people are talking so much about Neptune and what Neptune is. Excuse me, and how detrimental it is right now to everything sort of happening and going on, and how it's about like illusions and stuff like that. But at the same time, people are going so far into Neptune just to escape the reality of what's happening in the world. And that's why I don't like South Node in Sagittarius. It feels, I don't like Jupiter on the South Node anywhere. Jupiter or Neptune on the South Node, I feel like would just be like, how do you escape that? You're trying to get out of the most expansive energy there is. And then you got, like, and I've already talked about it, you got little itty bitty Mercury. So it's kind of sort of a sweet spot. Either you're doing what you're supposed to be doing right now or you're not. Because if you're not on Mercury, you're on Jupiter. And Jupiter is huge compared to Mercury. But your heart will never lead you astray. It's probably going to lead you to some type of challenge right now, though. But, you know, I guess not everybody stays on the ride for the full time. Some people fall off or fall to the wayside. Confidence. So I'm going to be looking for strength. High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. And I don't know. I feel like I'm walking this line between being judgy and not. But at the same time, it's like, if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing down here, and who am I to say what you're supposed to be doing right now? But I got a feeling like in the midst of everything happening, it's like Avatar. When the world needed you most, you disappeared. Oof. Hello? Okay. That came out pretty early. I don't know. It's just like some of y'all got teams that are shaking their heads and not disappointed, but it's just like some people have like test anxiety though. And so just because they don't perform well on tests doesn't mean that they don't know the material. But at the same time, it's just like, what are you doing? Co-creative power, going to be looking for the lovers. Archangel of Mysteries is the first card out. I do want to see what's around the Magician, but I'm going for the lovers. Because I feel like the Magician could do it on his own. Oh, snap. The Emperor, the Nine of Cups, and the Empress. That Emperor is looking at that Nine of Cups to get to that Empress, and that Empress is like, oh, who, me? Like, you want to act like you can see now? Can y'all hear that? Maybe not, because if you can't hear the fan, you might not hear that back there either. But I'm just like really like, and I guess what's so unfortunate maybe is that right before all of this stuff really started going down, I had a dream. I had lots of dreams about lots of YouTubers, right? And then to see, wow, so the Magician is coming out with the lovers. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, and then we got the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Cups looking at each other. Like, what you gonna do with the Hangman right under that Knight of Wands? I ain't gonna do nothing. But it's just like, man, I don't know. It's really unfortunate. And then, like, you know, some people have followings. And so what forces, if you want to call them forces, there would be to actually combat, you know, all the things that need to be changed in the world, or that need forces that would be forces that would be combating that which prevents change in the world are now being sort of subdued and told to stay home, told that they're not needed or necessary because it's more important right now for you to run to your little hidey hole and, you know, sit this out. Because I'm just like, I don't like, honestly, since that lunar eclipse happened, I've been fairly chill. Like, I was getting all my little symptoms before, not able to sleep for a minute. But ever since that lunar eclipse, like, I can sleep at night, I can breathe. Like, I still don't know exactly what's going to be happening in my life, but I'm not, like, confused or really worried about it. But it's, but again, like, I've always been an observer. So to me, some things are pretty, like, obvious. But I don't know. Also, to me, like, I actually been doing my work. So it's like, what would I have to run from? I can look at something and not be affected because, and if I am affected by something, it's for me to deal with, not for me to run away from. So is y'all never, oh, it's just like, are y'all really doing what y'all say y'all doing, or is y'all just playing? Like, and there is no one size fits all solution. We should be able to be robust and dynamic, but I don't know. I feel like there is a little bit of anger in me, but it's just that, like, why are you not doing anything? Like, what have you been doing? Like, how are you not prepared for this? Like, you should be able to look at something and not be swept into it. Because you refusing to look at it is just you getting sort of swept up in another wave. Right? It's not that there's only one right way to do it, but we're looking at South Node Jupiter as compared to North Node Mercury. And not only is Mercury tiny, it's quick at the same time. So we're supposed to be continuously moving and doing stuff as things are moving and doing and changing. But like all of this change is going to happen regardless of if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing or not. You'll just end up somewhere that you don't necessarily want to be as much. Loneliness, reconnection, and home. So loneliness is going to be the five of pennies because y'all know. What else would it be? Reconnection. I'm feeling the two of cups. I'm feeling the two of cups as like a reconvening. Even though it kind of sort of is more of a three, but I'm feeling the two. So we're going for minors over here. And then for home, home is Cancerian. I'm kind of sort of feeling a hermit. I'm going to go for the hermit for home. I'm going to give this a cut, and then we'll just start. Two of Wands is the first one out, followed by the Four of Cups. What am I going for? Here's the Two of Cups. Loneliness, we're going for the Five of Pennies. I'm just like, because in my mind, it just like, it makes so much sense. Because it's like, if you are a spiritual warrior, what sense does it make to run from the battle as soon as it begins if you are this warrior? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. It's like, what have you've been preparing to not show up? Like, you've been doing your work to not be doing anything right now? And it's a multi-pronged issue, but, you know, with Mercury, with Gemini being the third house, you know, actually being there, like, you should actually be doing something right now. You should be seen in your environment and your community, doing something, leading some kind of change, you know, or just like using your voice, if nothing else, or actually paying attention or listening. I don't know. Ooh, first card out is that title card. We're going for the Two of Cups now. The title card followed by that Hangman. Again, you can't make nobody do nothing. And there are many ways to interpret. Here we go. Here we go. What's going on? So, I don't know. I could be wrong, you know. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But in my mind, it just doesn't make sense for someone to do so much growth and so much healing to then not be able to do the same for the world. Like, that's kind of sort of why we taught you. That's kind of sort of why you went through it, so you could be a leader, so you could step up, so you could shine. But and then I also wonder if, like, as a person with a platform, if you have people listening to you and if you discourage them from doing what it is that they're supposed to be doing, like, on one hand, they should know what they're supposed to be doing. But at the other hand, does your voice, does your platform, does your whatever, like, hold some kind of weight or effect on you? Especially y'all people who claim to be here to wake other people up and to do this for other people and to do that for other people, but then you just tell them to run and hide when things start to go down or get a little bit, you know, serious. Oh no, don't show up. Just go run and hide. Whatever you can do to self-medicate and forget about everything that's happening, do that, because it's more important that you're numb and your presence is null. Okay. What did I say I was doing? The Hermit. What's the Hermit look like in this deck? Oof, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go a little slower on this one. I can't remember. It kind of sort of boils my blood a little bit, you know, not gonna lie. NGL, not gonna lie. Because I'm just like, why are you here? I don't want to be like, why are you here? But at the same time, it's like, why are you here? Like, to not show up, to not do anything. When your presence, like when you can shine brightest, you decide to go dark. Okay. Okay. Ain't that what Beyonce said? Okay. I'm a savage. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm about to get into these. Half an hour. Not. I mean, it is kind of bad, but not extremely. And everything is like face up. All right. Bottom of the deck over here is the Death card. So we got Death, the Ivory Shield, Queen of Pentacles, and Awakening. So with this Awakening, we got Magical Realms over here and Isolation over here. With Isolation, we got Death at the bottom of the deck. With Magical Realms, we got the Queen of Cups at the bottom of the deck. And you can already see we have the Magician, we have the Four of Swords, and Justice with Magical Realms. With Isolation, we have the Four of Pentacles, the King of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles. So, Let's get into the note, shall we? Let's start with Isolation first, because I want to end this on a high note. And Isolation would not be giving it to me. I'm a savage. Okay. I don't know why that song popped into my head. And that's the only version of the song I've actually listened to. People are like, oh my, because it was earlier in quarantine. People are like, OMG, Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce. Beyonce as Tiffany Pollard. New York. Pollard? What's her last name? I don't know, but I love New York. So, Isolation resonates to that of unification with mental powers and emotional insights of the soul. This sacred ray prompts us to awaken hidden memories that spark a matrix of inner soul and universal brotherhood. This supportive ray helps bridge a telepathic reunion to the soul's true home, encouraging a sense of communion with fellowship and love for all of creation. So even the card is saying, whatever. What'd you say? You didn't listen to it until Beyonce was on it, right? Exactly. Same. And I only listened to it because people were kind of sort of freaking out on the internet. I've been seeing Black Parade trending. I keep seeing it pop up, but I haven't actually listened to it yet. I don't really listen to music, so sorry. The Oracle interpretation is, there is a familiar connection that wants to come into your life, a connection where you may feel deja vu. If you are feeling a sense of loneliness or have been desiring a reconnection with your tribe or soul star family, this is a good time to make intentions to reach out and connect. The truth is, you are never alone. All you need to do is ask to contact home, and your soul star family will show up with open arms. Time to stop hiding and get involved in community. Time to stop hiding and get involved in community. The companion crystals are Snowflake Obsidian and Mookite. And the companion essential oil is vanilla. Let me just, it's on a soul level, it's just so frustrating. I don't know. Who am I to be? I like it? Okay. I have to give it a listen. It's just it's when you want better for someone, or you kind of expect more from someone, even though you don't really know anybody. It's just man, when the world needed you most, you disappeared. She 100 years later, when these people finally realize, oh wow, I was actually supposed to do something. Oh wow, yeah, that's why we prepped you. That's why you went through everything you went through. But or not. Anyway, so when it comes to loneliness, we have the Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. So I'm going to read both of these, and then we'll see what's up. And then that's the card I was looking for, the Five of Pentacles. So Four of Pentacles and the Seven of Wands. I'm a savage. Okay. Now it's in my head. So the Four of Wands says, by Jolie, the Four of Pentacles. Did I keep saying Four of Wands? The Four of Pentacles, sorry. The Four of Pentacles is represented by a dapper and slightly sinister figure seated by himself on the stage, seemingly caught in the act of juggling the currency of many lands. The figure is reminiscent of the MC in Cabaret. He is seductive and reptilian at the same time. In a similar way, the theater of money is ever attractive and repulsive. Money is something we tend to hold on to tightly, but it can really only work its magic in the world if we let go. This card is a warning that being overly controlling or possessive can limit developments or relationships. So maybe you feel a little bit lonely because you were trying to control or something like that. You've been thinking about rejoining social media. I'm actually really liking social media a lot because, it keeps the people informed. You can see what people are actually doing out there instead of the same, 3 clips that the mass media shows people. And also, there's some really cool people out there doing some really cool things, and we're actually kind of sort of making progress, and it's wild. But, that's why I keep watching. Because as the person who I am, when I pay attention to something, I can say, okay, I like that. I like this direction. Don't like that. Like another war, like people, what? Like, no, not in my reality. Oh, people are like listening. We're making movement. Like people are coming together. People are uniting. Okay, yes, more of that. Right. And it's like, excuse me, I'm not really necessarily doing anything myself, but again, our attention is divine, right? That's why Source kind of sort of incarnated, or a fragment of Source incarnated as you to experience everything as you, to actually experience stuff. And maybe, like I said last time, maybe Source also wanted to experience the life of someone who was perfectly prepared and who could have done something but just didn't, who missed the call, and now they just crap out of luck and gotta, I don't know, do whatever you gotta do. Because I'm sure, if Source wants every experience, then it wants that one too. So why not you? Won't be me, but why not you? Let me stop. Oh, updating people on the energies, what you went through, and how you maneuvered through it before you left. I'm just the only one I really, really, really be on is like Facebook, and I only said a few things. I retweeted some stuff on Twitter. I said maybe 1 or 2 things on Twitter. My Instagram, I feel like a lot of people I got on my Instagram are like also on my Facebook because I follow a lot of people I know IRL. So, you know. But yeah. But also like at this point in my life, it's like people are asking me like, "Are you good? Are you good?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like I'm great because I can look at this and like not be removed from it, but still have hope moving forward. I've had enough dark nights in my own life that I've actually faced, and not dark nights that I've run from and just claim to have faced them. Where I can look at something dark, go through it, and still keep my eye on the silver lining, while at the same time not dismissing or deflecting my gaze from the actual dark parts, because that's how you sort of learn and integrate. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm weird, but that's just been my journey, right? But some people, it's like you come upon a dark night and then you run from it, and then you just kind of, I guess, push it to the side or ignore it and then claim to have whatever. And then people be like, why am I going through all these dark nights? It's like dark night after dark night. And it's like, okay, well, are you learning anything? Are you doing anything? Like, have you progressed at all? Because, like, at a certain point, like, it's not that you stop having dark nights, but you should be able to navigate in the darkness after a certain point. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just weird. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. Your IG been dry? My IG is kind of, I don't know. I bought these icebreakers when I went to the store because you never know when you're going to have to smooch somebody, right? But I'm just popping them like candy. So, anyway. I don't think I've ever actually bought icebreakers before. I always just get them from people in like high school or whatever. People are like, oh, I got mints. You want mint? I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. Altoids, though, I bought Altoids. I love Altoids. But I'm a huge mint person, so intense mint experiences is what I'm all about. Seven of Wands by Devin Khalil Fairies. The Seven of Wands card is about having the courage to take a stance and being prepared to stand firm to defend it. When designing the image for this card, I thought about some of the original tarot meanings: standing one's ground, a time for tenacity and courage. These qualities inspired me to draw a strong Black queer woman who appears to be under attack. Black queer women deal with so much antagonism and have to stand their ground in an often unrelenting world. This defiant woman stands for all warriors in all the battles worth fighting. And you at home. But again, if you don't rise to the occasion, you best believe somebody else will stand for you. Like one monkey don't stop no show. Right? It's like this all is not dependent on you doing whatever you need to do. So you may be isolating right now, in your little kumbaya, whatever, not doing anything, just trying your best to plug your ears and la 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 la, I can't see you, I can't hear you, you can't hurt me. And maybe you're saying, or you're going to see some positive change, because positive change is happening regardless, because there are people actually out there doing what they're actually supposed to be doing right now, i.e. not you. But then when things really begin to turn, like, don't be surprised if you get a little left out. Because again, like, when your presence was needed, what did you do? Everyone's feeling this wheel of fortune turning. Everyone's feeling this change coming. But it's like, at the end of the day, what did you do to ensure that you got your seat on the plane, the boat, the theater, of whatever? Like, you know, what did you actually do? Because this card right here is telling you to take a stance and fight, but this one right here is somebody just off to themselves, looking a little sinister and reptilian, not even doing nothing really. It's just, I don't know. Like, and I never thought I would be at this point where I would talk like this, or where I would actually speak anything. But here I am. And for me, thanks to my buddy, it's been a good few months of me learning to come out of my shell and to speak my actual truth. And my North Node is in Sagittarius, so I'm in my North Node right now. I'm in my North Node, but also following the North Node right now. I can do both. Imagine that. Anyway, you popping like candy too, especially the gum. I love mint. Somebody was like, ew, I don't like mint. I was like, what? How do you not like mint? That's why low-key Rumplemints, if you're a lightweight, probably don't go for Rumplemints. But Rumplemints is so good. It's like a peppermint schnapps, I think, or however you pronounce that. But it is just so intensely minty. I'm like, yes! Yes! I haven't had Rumplemints in a long time. But anyway, it's just, I don't get it. So what was this one? Loneliness, reconnection, I think? Yeah, reconnection. So with reconnection, we have the King of Wands and the Four of Cups. So it's like we get one, oh, another four. We get one fighter card and another card of nobody doing nothing. We get the whole gosh darn King of Wands, but somebody sitting at home not doing nothing. Bored. Like, okay. Okay. I don't know, y'all. Maybe it's just me. And then people, it's like, people really need to understand what they're asking for whenever they go manifesting something. Because it's like, there's this natural pull to open the sort of portals and gateways for massive change to come down and anchor itself. But there's also this natural repulsion by the shadow. And it's just like, you just, before you claim to sign up on anything, or before you claim anything vibrationally, you should know what that vibration is. There are a whole bunch of people claiming a whole bunch of stuff, manifesting a whole bunch of difficulty. When it was like, if I would have known it would have been that hard, I would have just never even began the journey in the first place. And it's like, oh, well, cute sentiment, but you've already been manifesting this stuff now, so good luck. I guess. I don't know. It's just so much of. But I guess not everyone's going to rise, unfortunately. King of Wands. The illustration is by Marco Prieto. Prieto? I don't know. And the description is by Arwen Lynch. Keywords are resilient, patient, and successful. This king is a butch leather um, stud. I'll call her a stud because I ain't saying the D word. She shows off her success with a good cigar while riding her top of the line motorcycle. She knows how to wait, how to plan, how to budget. Others may see her as quiet because she doesn't speak much. They should listen more. When she offers advice, it is best to take it. Let your focus be on planning your own future. Set your financial goods, set your financial goals, and start working your plan. Reverse, this king is domineering, overbearing, and pushes your boundaries just to get a reaction. Best to make space between the two of you. Your best plan is to try to avoid the notice of this ill-favored ruler. Business plans need to be looked at very closely before you proceed. Someone could be in your way intentionally. And then the Four of Cups says, who in your way? You could be in your way intentionally. So your shadow's like, oh no, don't pay attention to that. Go back inside. And you're like, okay. Four of Cups by Robin Scott. We all want to have someone we can rely on for support and let our guard down around. This is a relationship where you can enjoy comfortable silences, watch TV together, enjoy cookies and milk in your underwear, and simply relax in each other's presence without even interacting directly. You can relax knowing that you are supported and loved by someone who has known you at both your best and your worst. There is still a richness of love here, but it's lost the sense of exciting newness it once had. When our relationships become too comfortable, they can also become suffocating and stale. Comfort and stability are essential to any healthy long-term relationship, but if you get caught up in them, they can become the start of a long downward slope towards the end. Without risk and excitement, without romance, it's easy to fall into a rut that you never pull yourself out of. And then here's all the excitement and romance with that King of Wands right there. But according to this description, like the King of Wands isn't going to force you to do anything that you don't want to do. He's just going, she's just going to pull off and ride without you. She's like, oh, you ain't ready? Okay, cool. Like, catch you at the party. See you when you get there, whenever you get there, if you get there. But I'm going to go out and I'm going to have me a good time. And then you're going to be in your underwear, chilling by yourself. Comfortable, yes, but bored. And it's like, I don't know what kind of soul y'all got. I don't know what kind of souls I got watching me. But my soul is the type of soul that like thrives and revels when it overcomes challenge, when it understands something. Or okay, well, like you can argue on a soul level, you kind of sort of already know everything, depending on how. Anyway, but it's like me myself personally, mentally, whenever I come upon a challenge and overcome it, whenever I learn something new, something especially that was a struggle that I can do something with, that gives me deep fulfillment that echoes on a soul level. And so I'll know like, oh yes, like this is what I'm about, right? Also, sometimes I just like to chill and sometimes I just like to take it easy. That's also what my soul is about. Sometimes I like to be a little fiery and passionate. That's the part of me that I'm reconnecting to because I had it shut down for a long time. It was alive when I was a kid, but then it went away. But now it's back, just in time, apparently. And so, it's like it's all you. We can be whatever we need to be when the situation calls for it. Or at least I can be whatever I need to do when the situation calls for it. I'm not constantly the same. There are different demands in different situations. And it's like the way you handle fear is to not buy into it, right? The way you handle justifiable anger and sort of a call for change is not by ignoring it. You don't handle all emotions the same way. And we're coming upon things that actually need to be addressed so like actual real life change can happen. But that's yo whatever. It's all you shoot. Sometimes I don't know. It's like I like logistically I know that like I'm not directly speaking to anybody. Maybe I am and I don't know it. Maybe somebody will find this and I don't know it. But it's like exactly different keys for different doors. And it's like I know I'm not directly speaking to anybody and I'm just like, you know what, it don't even matter what I say anyway. But part of me still needs to say it because there are things that I need to vocalize with my own throat. Chakra. Chakra. I don't know why I said it like that. There are things that I need to vocalize with my own throat chakra to put it out into the world. And then using this platform, it's in that e-space, right? So regardless of if anyone watches it or not, it's something that I'm speaking over my world. And if you want to manifest a timeline where you're stuck and miserable, then by all means, you can do that. And I'm going to manifest my timeline where, you know, we actually move forward. And I don't know, the people who come down here to do something actually do it. Anyway, it's just like, I don't know. It's just, we can do better. And some of us are. So, you know, anyway. So last is home. So with home, we have the Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Cups. This is interesting because so it's almost like on one side, you got somebody reserved with the Four of Pentacles, somebody chilling at home with the Four of Cups. There's the Four of Cups. With the Four of Cups, somebody chilling at home in their underwear while everybody else is out doing whatever they're doing. And then here you have this Nine of Pentacles where someone is like completely to themselves on their own. And then you got this Three of Cups when somebody else is actually out there doing something. And the person out there doing something is probably more on this Seven of Wands energy and this King of Wands energy. And now in this Three of Cups, kind of sort of actually connecting to the group of souls that they came down here with through their service, right? And if y'all higher selves can speak, some of y'all higher selves may be like, what are they doing? Like, why are they not out here with us? Like, girl, like, do you not know that this is what you're supposed to be doing? And it's like, oh, well, her 3D, you know, they kumbayaing over there. So, you know. And it's like, what? But she was supposed to be one of the ones that was like on the front lines. And you're like, well, you know, Earth, free will, free choice. What are you going to do? Veil of forgetfulness. Kumbaya, I'm just like, I don't know why it riles me for some reason. But it's just like, because I know we can do better. And it's like, I feel like some of the more powerful voices right now are just like silent, but it's fine. Or not only are they silent, they're just like I said, like with that new moon solar eclipse being void, of course, less than a degree away from the North Node, like whatever Cancer thing we were supposed to do, it's like the program has changed. The program has switched, right? And this energy is going to stretch for 6 months, and then we're coming into this full moon lunar eclipse after in like 2 weeks, right? And it's interesting because it's going to be like the first full moon we had right after the South Node slid into Sagittarius, lunar eclipse. And now we're having the next lunar eclipse in Capricorn, where the South Node just was, where we still have all of these like retrograde conjunctions between Pluto and Jupiter and maybe Saturn by the time that happens, but maybe not. Because Saturn is still in Aquarius right now, but it's like 0 degrees Aquarius. So I don't know if it'll be like 29 Capricorn by the time we get that full moon, Capricorn, lunar eclipse or not, but it's like the Earth's shadow is literally right there. So whatever kind of reflectivity the moon usually does as a mirror, it's not reflecting anything because the Earth's shadow is right there. And with that eclipse happening 0 degrees Cancer, with the moon being void of course, it's almost like, 6 months of you spiritually being on your own. So if you're confused now and you're not doing anything about it to bring yourself some kind of clarity, I'm tempted to say plan on being confused for 6 more months for the rest of the year. And then we're going to have another solar eclipse, I believe, in December this year. So there's that. But yeah, it's like, like this is what we've been preparing you for. At least that's what I've been feeling ever since like beginning of February, when I was like for sure, like, okay, so like Spirit is backing up. They're giving us the keys. They're asking us to take charge because again, it's like free will is literally the thing down here. So nothing on a large scale can happen without people down here to actually do it. Like that's kind of sort of the whole Earth thing, is that this is like a DIY planet. The energy of Earth is DIY. Do it yourself. If Earth was in your birth chart, Earth would be like the planet of whatever you need to do yourself, right? Because it's free choice, it's free will. And this is such a huge choice in the collective that it's like it's not going to resolve itself. But there will be those who step up into their functionality and do what they need to do in this time. And apparently there will be those who retreat. And if you're retreating, you're probably fighting your soul calling. And if you're fighting your soul calling, that's probably why you feel a little extra lost and a little extra just swept up in everything going on. Because if you're not going with the wave, you will be taken by it. So, it's your life. Do what you want to do. Ain't that how the song go? Three of Cups by Holly Sierra. The Three of Cups card heralds glad tidings in a tarot reading. I love this card's message. It generally portrays three friends gathered together, celebrating, supporting, and inspiring one another. I immediately thought of gay pride parades as a way to depict this merriment. Folks look to one another with appreciation, excitement, honor, and respect, and are bound by their emotional connections as they march. There is a scene of admiring and celebrating each person's unique contribution to the group. In my painting, the man in front runs ahead holding 7 rainbow-colored banners that highlight the pride name. The couple featured in the center of the 3 chalices is representative of all human love. In a semicircle around the couple is an array of multicolored feathers, signifying that the LGBTQ+ community's dreams are taking flight in all directions towards manifestation. And we can replace the LGBTQ+, community with just like, humanity in general, the human race, and union and communion and coming together and respecting each other's differences, right? But on the other side, we got the Knight of Pentacles, which is, the soul who would rather stay to themselves, even though it's probably literally the reason why they came down here, according to so many. Yes, I'm a light worker. I work my light by ignoring everything going on, and it's like, okay, girl, whatever. Let me stop. I'm sorry. I just don't know why it got me so heated. Like, I know why. And maybe part of it is like, that could have literally been me. Because that used to be me. And maybe that's another reason why, because it's like, I don't know, if the last few months of my life were not what they were, then I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be talking how I'm talking. And it probably isn't very encouraging to anybody, but I would encourage you to actually, it's like, I don't know, because like, people be talking about Dark Nights of the Soul. And I'm like, well, is this how you handled all of them? And if it is, did you actually learn anything? Have you actually grown? And if you have grown, then like, can you like show it or do something with that growth, or just like, continue to, I don't know. Nine of Pentacles by Ryan Edward. The Nine of Pentacles shows a person of refinement who has reached a stage when she can enjoy the finer things in life. She is independent and self-reliant. She is living her fullest life in her truest form. The spotlight is on her, no shade here. She may be the nine of the suit, but she is 10, 10, 10s across the board. She is feeling her best self, serving abundance. Stand aside. This is hers. Yes. Emphasis on she is independent and self-reliant at a time when it's all about community. So, hey, because Gemini North Node is actually about community. So, I don't know. Just call me, I don't know. Let it not be said that at least I didn't speak. Let it not be said that I was silent in this time. Because, oof. I mean, in my mind, it's just kind of sort of a natural in my mind, it's a natural progression. We go from Cancer North Node, connect to your hearts. Connect to heart, connect to spirit, connect to this, connect to that. And then we go into everything we're going into now, and it's like people want to forget that, we're supposed to be connecting to our heart and stuff like that. And then it's like people are like, trust your intuition. But Jupiter is also a planet of spirituality, and that's where the South Node is, and it's retrograde right now. So your heart is the truest thing you have emotionally, or in a way that you can feel, that speaks to your soul. When it's open, when it's healed, and when it's aligned, right? Your intuition is like, intuition is so easy to F with if your discernment is weak, because intuition is just like something coming to you on a more subtle level. But those gates and channels are open to everything, right? And like I've been saying, it's like we're in this real Joby time. And the story of Job in the Bible is like the devil was like, because Job was like super faithful, right? And super devout. And the devil was like, hey, I bet I can get Job to curse you. And God was like, my boy Job, like, nah. And the devil was like, you sure about that? And then God was like, yup. And then the devil was like, all right, bet. And God was like, bet. And so then the devil came down and started taking stuff from Job. And even Job's wife was like, God then took everything from you. You should curse him and die. And Job was like, why would I do that? Hello? Girl. And so he lost his family. He lost his stuff. He lost his status. Everybody in the town was talking about him. But he never lost his faith. And he got everything back and more in the end. Real Joby times right now. But, when things come back online, some people are going to be getting this, this new upgraded sort of reality, and some people won't. And some of the people who ain't getting it will see other people who do got it. And again, don't be mad in the end when you ain't got it if you ain't do nothing. Because you've had just as much opportunity as everybody else, and maybe more if y'all as woke as y'all say y'all are. But, anyway, it ain't none of my business. Now, over to Magical Realms, number 28. Magical Realms resonates to trust in the unseen and magical realms. Trust in the unseen and magical realms. And what have I been telling y'all about moon energy? It ain't something you can see, but it's something that you can feel. And I would trust it. Unless, your sense of feeling is effed up too, then I don't know. It's just like, some of y'all may be feeling extra lost because you're resisting the natural pull of your soul, which may be, in this time and place, literally the reason why you're down here, why you've incarnated. I've heard so much since I, quote unquote, woke up about people who chose this time specifically to incarnate because it's so important, and because there's an opportunity to clear so much karma right now. But how do you clear karma? By kumbayaing. You close your eyes, plug your ears, say 15 kumbayas, 3 Hail Marys, 25 love and lights, and a few namastes, and you're good. It's like, no. Oh well. Magical realms resonates to trust in the unseen and magical realms. All souls are all endowed with the ability to commune with otherworldly and interdimensional beings. And as belief in their existence grows in strength, the ability to also communicate and co create with them becomes possible. Crossing the boundaries of these limitations provides the confidence and trust in the soul's enormous power for creation into reality. The oracle interpretation is: it is only in your perception that you may be in limitation. Believe and know that you are far more powerful than you realize. Trust in this. Reach out to the elementals to cultivate trust in your own abilities. The energies around you are vying for your attention. So listen to the wind, sea, earth, and sky, and your answers will swiftly come. Sorry. You have the ability to create your own reality. Believe in this. The companion crystals are cat's eye and diopside. The companion essential oil is bay laurel. Okay. Laurel, Six of Wands, victory, magical realms. Okay. Okay. Girl, Mimi, I don't know. I'm just really like, because in my mind, it's just like, so like, I don't know. I don't know. But it's fine. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to get to where we're going anyway. So it don't too much matter. But at the same time, I'm like, if I care for somebody, like, I'm not the type of friend who, like, if you're in the wrong, I'm not going to, like, pretend like you're not. Right? Like, if you come to me like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that somebody slapped me across the face for spitting in their face, stepping on their shoe, and pushing them over. It's like, well, okay, well, maybe you shouldn't have spit on them. Maybe you shouldn't have stepped on them. Maybe you shouldn't have put your hands on them if you ain't want them to put their hands on you. Like, what did you expect? And so I got some friends that be like, oh, like, I wish you just, I'm like, girl, no, first of all, that's foolishness. And I'm not going to sit here and abide by foolishness. Because if I do that, then you're just going to continue to be foolish. And you're going to be one of them people that's always foolish, that don't nobody tell they foolish. And so they always think that they in the right when they, 9 times out of 10, in the wrong. And you think everybody else is the problem, but you're the one out here committing foolishness. Anyway, I'm just like, it is what it is. So let's move on to, so this first one was, let's see, I got the star, belief. The first one was belief. And we have the Chancellor and the Devil. So I see some people who's tied up, feminine and masculine, tied up under the rule of, this is low-key giving me Isis, Osiris, and Set vibes, right? And it's like Set had to come down, cut up Osiris, and do all that foolishness for Isis to then put Osiris back together, for Horus, I think, to be born, and then for Horus to do whatever Horus had to do. And so this Set period of chaos was kind of sort of necessary in order to revive order in a way that is appropriate for the times and is actually, like, actually orderly. So yeah, I'm not worried about that. I talk to my family, I talk to my friends, I talk to everybody like that. So the people who really know me, and the people who don't like it, I just don't like. I don't too much care, because I'm just like, so you want me to sit here and do that? Like, yeah, no. Like, I'm not really about that. That's never been who I am, and I would hope that other people would do the same for me, because I've always been about growth. Being stagnant just does something to my soul that my soul does not like. Like my soul does not like to be stagnant. And whenever I feel like I'm being stagnant, it really, really, really gets me down. And maybe that's my North Node in Sagittarius, low key. And I've never noticed it. Because, like, it really affects me when I'm stagnant. It can be a lot of things in my chart. I mean, it's just me. At this point, it's just me. Shoot. So let's go to the. Do I want to read the Book of Maps or no? I don't think I do. I wanted to read these because it's Pride Month and I love the interpretations. But over here, I think I'll just go with it. So this Chancellor is coming to cut the ties between this masculine and feminine energy to then rebalance it with the scale. Excuse me. And as this rebalances, it's like in this energy, the limitations on the proportions are different. So there's like this temperance energy sort of running in the background, but the temperance energy is going to come after the justice comes to this sort of like demon, the devil. And the South Node is on his head, right? The glyph for the South Node is on his horns. If y'all can see. Can you see that? You see that? Oh, wow. Look at that cool. Let's see. I love this new webcam. The setup is a little whatever, but I love it. No one liked when you served the wheel either. You just need to learn to be more considerate and less a-hole with it. Your choice of words wasn't always the best. I probably am a little like less harsh, but at the end of the day, I kind of sort of don't care. You know, it's like it's not that I don't care, but I kind of sort of don't. So this was belief. So, excuse me. I feel like what we believe is possible. See, I feel like some people get so conditioned to certain patterns that even if they don't like them, they will keep themselves in them because they can't see or imagine a better way. And it's so interesting to me, I guess, that it's like you don't like the space you're in, but you can't see it working out any differently, so you won't even try. And it's time to change all of this. And it's not necessarily for everyone to see a better way, because at the same time, like, progress is progress and change is change, right? And it's like, unfortunately, at least now, part of reality that there are some people who live so much of their lives settling and chained and tied up and bound that it like evokes some kind of visceral reaction out of them to see someone who is free. And it's like, you should be tied up and bound like me. And it's like, no thanks. Like, if that's your life, if that's your path, then that's like your life and your path. But I prefer to live mine on the wild side, right? The fun side where we're not necessarily chained up, where we can be free, like truly free, right? But being truly free does not mean that you neglect everything that's actually happening. That's just closing your eyes, but staying in the cell. Like you're on your mental beach, yeah, but physically you're still in the same place. Anyway, it's time to bring that to balance. As long as you got the messages through, that's all you cared about, you're better now. I'm worse. But also at the same time, I didn't like in the past, like if it wasn't my friend or if my like advice or opinion wasn't asked for, I would just observe and I would just watch it all sort of fall apart. And I'm like, yep, knew that was gonna happen. Saw this coming, but it ain't my business. And so now it's like I'm actually kind of sort of coming into my voice. So was that January 23rd I did this? Oh, my ancestors proud of me. The ones that ain't upset. But even those are proud. Because like I did this reading in January for myself, and I did the Akashic Records reading in the Book of Maps, and it is like it has what like 12 or 13 different sections to it, and there are two ancestor sections. There's the forefather section and then the foremother section. And then the forefather section, they was coming out like, you supposed to be doing this, you supposed to be doing that. You see all this stuff, which is great, but you're also supposed to do something when you see it. Like they're both in your job description, to see something and to do something. And the foremothers came out like, you need to use your voice, study long, study wrong. Like we ain't put everything we put into you for you to not be doing nothing. Like listen to them forefathers. They were a lot. It was a lot softer on the mother side than on the forefather side. But also they were like, your very breath is blessed. And so I do need to stop complaining. And I don't think I've complained too much today, but it's like there's power in the word. So anyway, you made everything your business, especially when you saw unfair behavior or whatnot. But you was told to learn to stop interjecting yourself everywhere. Yourself everywhere. Wanted to save everyone and be everything to everyone. I can't be nothing to nobody that they don't want to be. I always used to tell people I'm the nicest person you deserve to know. Because I can be one of the nicest people and I can be one of the meanest people. And it was kind of sort of judgmental of me to be like, okay, you get this nice side, you get that bad side, but also like if we ain't vibe, we ain't vibe. And I wasn't the type of person to fight a vibe. But moving forward so we got strength. Strength was, what was it? What was strength? It's not endurance. What is it? Confidence. Strength is confidence. So on confidence, we have the Four of Swords and the Six of Wands. Like, I feel like this says it perfectly. Like, you are already victorious, so you don't have anything to prove to anybody. Right? Because when you get into the space of trying to prove something, you dampen and hamper your magic. And you do that because it clouds and murkies your intention. Right? And whenever you enter the energy of trying to prove something to somebody, you're interjecting ego where it doesn't necessarily need to be. Right? And so, I mean, confidence, like Six of Wands and the Four of Swords, I feel like it's this perfectly, right? You can be this super victorious champion type person, but with the Four of Swords, not necessarily need to go out there and like gloat and boast about it. But, if somebody come at you sideways, you can't pick up the sword real quick, right? Like I can cut you down like that. I ain't even got to pick up my sword, honestly, to cut you down. But it looks a little more theatrical when I do it. So I'm going to do it, because I'm maybe the type of person that don't get to use a sword too often. So when you do get an opportunity to use a sword, you may be a little too eager. But as long as you ain't doing it unnecessarily, then I guess it's fine. But yeah, I mean, confidence, I feel like this is like an internal victory, and it's something that you don't necessarily have to show anybody else. So when it comes to magical realms, I feel like it's not anything that you have to prove. Like you don't have to prove your connection. You don't have to prove this. You don't have to prove that. It is perfectly okay for you to do whatever your little soul functionality is. Say whatever you need to say. And also realize that it's not your job to convince anybody of anything. It may be your job to speak. It may be your job to guide. It may be your job to lead sometimes, but it's not your job to force anything. And you can't control how you are received, right? So as long as you do whatever you need to do and say whatever you need to say, you're good, you're Gucci. There's nothing to really prove to anybody, right? And this is true confidence. Like 3D man ego confidence will be like somebody who's like constantly proving themselves, like, I got this, I got that. Real confidence, you don't really have to do all that because it's already inside. If you're doing something like that, you're probably compensating for something, or it's like puffery and fluffery, right? You're like that peacock that, put their feathers up and try to spread them extra wide to attract somebody. And it's like, you doing your dance or whatever, and then the female peacock ain't even going after you because she ain't even really impressed, because she's like, okay, if you're doing all of this, like, some people can see right through it. And sometimes it's kind of sort of obvious, but it is what it is. It's just be comfortable and confident in your ability, and you don't have to prove anything to anybody. Like, if you, just like Cassandra, and people don't listen to you, well, people ain't listening to her either. Welcome to Cassandra's Tarot Dice and Spiritual Advice. I'll tell you what you want to know. You may not like the answer, and you probably ain't going to do it. Let me stop. And then last, co-creative power, we actually have the Magician and the Lovers. I was pulled to the Lovers because it said co-creative, and I was like, well, the Magician is more creative. But it came out. And then we got this Eight of Swords, though. And so I feel like as you believe in yourself, and as you further your own abilities without a need for validation from other people, you're going to be unlocking more and more and more and more of your co-creative ability. Because this is almost like I actually want to read the I Ching for this too, because I'm feeling the pull too. But it's giving me the vibe of that one where it's like, restriction and limitation is important, because if you weren't restricted and limited before you knew how to use this, you'd be doing a whole bunch of stuff that it would take you several lifetimes to work through. That's why some of this stuff you can't use when you like super consumed in ego and shadow, and then you wouldn't even want to, because it just takes so long. It would take so long to work off the karma from mismanaging something like this. So it's actually, good on your part. So this is going to be Double Lake. Double Lake is number 58, Mirth. I've gotten Mirth recently. Be careful not to let merriment devolve into debauchery. But this is why you got to prove yourself. But it will be unlocked for those people out there doing what they're supposed to be doing. Mirth and a joyous exchange. Inner light shines outward. A small sacrifice in the moment to ensure greater gains later. An auspicious omen. Proceeding on your endeavor will yield a fortuitous outcome. However, the oracle offers a gentle warning. Joy must be controlled and sincere, and every space of that joy occupied equally with humility. Do not let merriment degenerate to debauchery. To maintain joy, maintain lively intellectual discourse with your equals. Learning on your own is not enough. Amplify that education by studying further with others. To seek joy is to seek discourse that will advance your body of knowledge. And that's very like North Node Gemini type energy. I know so many Geminis who they love to just like talk and do a little bit of debate. And maybe that's one of the things I like about Geminis. I wonder if Mike is a Gemini, low key. Turns out I've been attracted to Geminis like I'm alive. 11:57, 56. 56 is a 13. What's math? 56 is an 11. 11:57 is a 14.5. Did you mean 55? Was that supposed to be 555? So final messages. But yeah, the Hermit and the Lovers at the cut. That's Mercury energy between them. Gemini and Virgo. It's so interesting that the mutable signs were mutable. The mutable signs are co-ruled by the same planet. Like Jupiter rules Sag and Pisces, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, but the other planets have one cardinal and one fixed. Like Mars has Scorpio, which is fixed, and Aries, which is cardinal. Venus has Taurus, which is fixed, and Libra, which is cardinal. Saturn has Aquarius, which is fixed, and Capricorn, which is cardinal, and so on and so forth, right? But the mutable ones, like, they stick together. Okay. Let's see what it is. We got the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Four of Cups. So yeah, I just feel like this may be projecting, but I feel like this is just, for all y'all saying that I'm in my ego or I'm doing whatever, or you don't want to listen to me. I mean, you still ain't got to listen to the cards I pulled if you ain't gonna listen to me. But if you hermit right now, when this wheel of fortune turns, you still gonna be found wanting. Because when it was time for you to act or do, you ain't take it. Right? You gotta show up if you want this cup. And you've been manifesting this cup, so do the work to actually get it. Because if you're hermiting right now, you're probably gonna miss out if you ain't seen. Bottom of the deck is the captor. So yeah, further clarified by that Eight of Swords captor right there. So I don't necessarily like. I see it and I'm like, oh, it grinds my gears. It grinds my gears when I see people who are otherwise competent, but just like not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's like, why are you not? You got this. You can do it. You were so close. But who am I to evaluate where people are? How many planets did I just name? I named Mercury and Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Saturn. 5 planets. You just type so much. Ethereal Vagina Tarot. What? I'm almost done, Yoshi. You got a date within the next 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm just doing these final messages and then I'm done. I'm gonna kick back, enjoy myself. I'm actually gonna get back to work tomorrow because there are some things. It's coming to me to do it, and I know I'm procrastinating. I'm procrastinating on my physical 3D a little bit, y'all. If y'all couldn't tell, but it's time for me to really get that settled because, um, things are shifting and moving, and I gotta shift and move with it. Let's give this a cut. A few more shuffles. Is that 4 of Cups? Oh, I love the 4 of Cups. 4 of Cups with that 3 of Swords, though. I love the image from the 4 of Cups in this deck, but the message, not so much. I love part of the message. Come on. No? Okay. Let's try that again. There we go. Final message, please. Ooh, was that the 2 of Cups or the 4 of Wands? Okay, well. Okay, well, there we go. Okay, well. All right. Let's see what all we got. See who the culprits are. Who are the suspects? Culpability. What does that word mean? Culpable. Aiding and abetting. You're aiding and abetting old energy. Oh, wait, I'm not pulling that. Well, I pulled it out, so we'll see. I'll put it back. Right up between the Empress and the 5 of Cups. I know there's another one that flipped over down here somewhere, I thought. E8 Sports in the game. Bottom of the deck is that 9 of Pentacles. Let's see over here. We got the 3 of Cups, the Fool, and the 3 of Wands. The Fool between the 3 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. And then over here we got the Death card, which is 13, 4. Yep, number 13. So we got this Fool sitting in between the 3 of Cups and the 3 of Wands. So manifesting unity and actually kind of sort of like taking some leadership position in a way. Wait, what? Putting enough water in what? Wait, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Wait, what was I talking about? Putting water in them. Oh, maybe I'm confused. Oh, your plants. Okay, that's what I thought. It's like, we need some more over here, girl. We thirsty. It's summer. Oh, y'all know. Okay, let me stop. But when it's summertime, all the thirst traps be coming out. Anyways, and I'm parched. Shoot. I'm not parched. I take that back. But I want to be. Sometimes I want to be parched. Shoot. It's like, don't want no water, don't want no Sprite, don't want no tea, don't want no coffee, don't want this beverage, don't want that beverage. It's like I want this one beverage that ain't even being produced anymore, apparently. Or if it is, it's in limited supply, and I'm trying to get my hands on some. So if you find that beverage out there, let me know. Because none of these other glasses is doing it anymore. It's tragic. Let me stop. You shall remain parched. You done came this far, almost 2 years. I had a streak going. I had like an 8-year streak. And I was one Dusty Chalkboard Karmic. Just, like, but like, I feel like I don't got it, but I kind of sort of do got it, but you know. And that wasn't even great. I'm like, why do I keep doing this? This is terrible, honestly. Terrible, but it's fine. I learned my lesson. So with the full card, the Three of Cups and the Three of Wands, this is 303. 303, ain't that the studio that made Halo? This is Intergalactic, y'all. I feel like there's a question here of what we're creating space for. And it's like, because like with this Three of Wands, we're manifesting something, or we're going somewhere, or we're waiting for something to happen. And so there needs to be space cleared out in order to get that thing. But also, there needs to be some kind of recognition at the same time. And this Fool is the intersection of both of them, who intuitively knows the way. And with this Death card, it's like some things are definitely being transformed, and there are some spaces that are going to be intentionally left open. And it's important to know when to fill a space and when to leave a space. Because there are some times when we lose some things in order to create space for something bigger and better. And if we too hastily try to fill that space with something else in this absence, then it prevents what we were actually kind of sort of going for. And apply that wherever it resonates in your life. If you've lost something recently, it may be for a reason. And it may be important to not fill that up. It's like, you know, with the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom, it's like, not learn to live with it, but it's like, you know, don't let that, just understand that space is important sometimes. Because again, how you gonna get that baby grand piano into the house if you got newspapers stacked up everywhere? Who was that? Who was this? Adventure. I don't see Adventure too often. All right, and then I'm gonna get one last card out of this, and then I'll shut it down. Ooh, with that throat portal. Or is that the third eye portal? This is the third eye portal, sorry. The third eye, is that exiled? It is exiled. Last oracle card from the magical dimensions. I love the Ice Queen in this deck so much. I love the Ice Queen. Okay, let's get this last card. When I first got these was like stick together. Like slip and slide. Now they all loose. Loosey-goosey. Bottom of the deck is Destiny. Love that. Destiny is number 9. Divine purpose, passion, and service. How are you actually serving the community right now? I don't know. The card that came out is Harmonic Resolution. Harmonic Resolution is 19. So we got 9 and 19, which is interesting. Harmonic Resolution is negativity, anger, and transmutation. So we got negativity, anger, and transmutation. So this Harmonic Resolution is destined. If we're ever supposed to get to a place as a collective where we come into all of this love and light and blah, 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 everything that has transpired and happened on this planet energetically that's caused things to be effed the F up needs to actually be resolved. And you don't resolve things by sort of running from them and ignoring them. That's how you add to the collective shadow, right? The shadow of all things sort of repressed and unexpressed. So, harmonic resolution resonates to the thickness and heaviness of the lower dimensions. This can cause disturbance and scattering of energies and over identification with emotions of frustration, anger, isolation, which came out, and confusion, which disrupts the auric field. Divine light codes transmute these emotions, diffusing and disarming lower emotional states, and return the auric field to harmony, peace, and serenity. Sorry. The oracle interpretation is you need to acknowledge some of the lower level emotions, hidden negativity, frustration, and confusion that may be a factor right now. You need to acknowledge it. Release any unfocused and distracting mental chatter. Breathe deeply and diffuse excessive mental and emotional energies to regain your balance. You may also have attracted people in your life who are operating from lower vibrations, and you need to disconnect from this. The companion crystals are rhodonite and shungite. The companion essential oil is Palo Santo. It is so funny that rhodonite came out. And if you know why, you know why. Girl. All right, so that's where I'm going to shut this down. So, what was it? Etheric Vaginal Tarot. What did you say her name was? I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. I can be a little immature. I'm still a 12-year-old little boy sometimes. Sometimes if you draw a W and it look too round and it look like a little butt, I'll laugh. And I'll feel some type of way about myself as I laugh because it still entertains me for whatever reason. I remember I was in a physics class and we were in recitation and they drew an omega on the board. And if you don't know what a lowercase omega looked like, it looked like a butt. It looks like this, like that's lowercase omega, if you can see what I'm doing. And I saw it on the dry erase board and I just started laughing and I kept apologizing. I'm like, I'm so sorry I'm this immature, but that is so funny to me. It happens. It's okay. That's what brought you to her. The name was too hard to resist to see what she was about, and you're glad you did. Yeah. I mean, with a name like that, I'm sure she gets a lot of people who are just like, oh, what's this about? Like, what? But I hope y'all have whatever time, I don't know. Maybe I just need to stop watching certain folks. And I have stopped watching certain folks because I already know at the jump I'm going to be just over it. But there are some other folks who are kind of sort of stepping up in ways that I'm kind of sort of a little surprised about because I kind of sort of wrote some folks off. And it's like some of the folks I kind of sort of wrote off are stepping up. And some of the folks that I was more excited about are pulling back. And it's like, okay, well, I'm about to go wash out this conditioner. So no problem, Miyoshi. You unfollowed a lot of people. Girl, I'm busted. I have unfollowed quite a few people actually though. High key. I'm about to eat another icebreaker. So I'm actually done. If you want to go check her out, I'm probably just gonna ramble for another second or two, maybe not. Is there anything else I want to say? Is there anything else I want to say? Pop another icebreaker. I eat these things like candy. Not really. All right, I'm gonna catch y'all later. It's been about an hour and a half, so an hour 40. But what the mind's go? If you rambling, no, I don't think I'm about to ramble. Everything I was gonna ramble about, I've already rambled about, and it's primarily just in my mind, it doesn't make sense for It just doesn't make sense for us to go through all this growth, all this awakening, all of this healing. And when things are kind of sort of, when things start to pop off, we just disappear. Some of us. And it's like on Earth, like in order for any change to really come about in the 3D, since Earth is so dense and so heavy, like you kind of sort of actually got to do something. It's not enough to manifest. And especially with Spirit taking the backseat the way they're taking the backseat right now, it definitely ain't the time. Right? Now we're coming into a time of, and I think maybe that's one thing that people didn't necessarily or don't necessarily understand about increasing and raising the vibration. It's just that I feel like we're coming into a time of greater sovereignty. And when you come into greater sovereignty, when you level up past a certain point, eventually you kind of got to start doing stuff for yourself. And we're at that point where we need to start doing stuff for ourselves. So if you are feeling lost, confused, washed up, overcome by the energies, your soul is probably trying to get you to flow with it, to get you to flow with the change, to come into your functionality, step up, and really start to utilize those gifts as, you know, the way they were supposed to be utilized. And if you resist that call, it's going to be, you're making it even harder for yourself. But I'm not talking to any other people that I guess I need to talk to directly, as far as I know, so it don't even necessarily too much matter. But, you know, all eyes are on all of us, especially for the folks who call themselves light workers. Eyes especially on you. So I hope you're doing right, and I hope you've been right. Now, y'all know some of these people out here ain't right. And some of these people out here have been taking advantage of people. Oop! You get ooped and gooped and everything else. That's all I got to say. All right, have a good one. Bye. Thanks for stopping. If you watched this all the way through, thank you so much for sitting through this, I guess. And if you didn't, thank you for just like existing. And if you're one of the people out there who are not heeding the call, thank you for playing that role so that I don't have to. Because the Sparkosaurus I got in me is watching and observing. And the Sparkosaurus in you, maybe you wanted to play out, I want to be the person who like goes through like combat training, who goes through the worst of the worst, and like when it's my moment to shine, I like throw up and I run off the stage. And I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, girl, well, if that's what you want with your life, then go ahead, I guess. We all got our own, we all got our own parts to play. And sometimes the understudy, like that's why people have understudies. Just in case something happened, your understudy will shine. And when your understudy rise, don't be mad. Because they ain't still no show that you walked away from.